welcome to Martell's Movie Madness. This is your host, as always, Ryan Martell here. And this week on the show, I'm going to be talking about the decade in movies. I'm picking my top two movies from each year, one horror movie, one non-horror movie, and then I'm going to talk about some of the other movies that I liked that came out that year. I'm going to do that for every year of the decade. So from 2010 to 2019, I've got two movies that I picked as my favorites from that year, and then a couple of honorable mentions that, were really good, but just I wouldn't say they were my favorites of that year. But of course, before I get to that, I've got some stuff to talk about. I got some dates to plug. I got some what you're watching business to get into. I am a little sick, so forgive me if my voice goes out a little bit toward the end of this or in the middle of it. The podcast came out a little late this past week to the public. It was up on time for Patreon, so yay for me on that. But there was some kind of mishap with Podbean, and the episode just didn't publish. But yeah, hopefully that we don't have that problem this week. So, of course, like I said, if you're listening on Patreon, you're getting this a full 4 days early. You're going to get it on Sunday. It'll be up sometime in the evening time on Sunday, January 5th. And then if you're listening when the public is listening, then you're going to get it that Thursday. So the 9th is when you're going to get the episode. If you're listening on Patreon, you have a couple more days to go check out Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street at Vizart Video. That's a Charlotte Film Society, Back Alley Films presentation there at Vizart Video. It's $4 for Charlotte Film Society members and $7 for non-members. The showings are all at 7:30. It's showing until Thursday, so up until the day of this show dropping publicly, you have a chance to go see it. So go check that out. I went just last night on Saturday, and it was fantastic. Packed out the place. It's a really good documentary. It's so much deeper than I thought it would be, and I learned a lot of new things about Mark Patton that I didn't know before. For those of you who don't know, Mark Patton was a actor. He was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. He's the lead male in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Credited as being the first male Scream Queen. And he is now a gay activist for HIV awareness and all this other stuff. It's very interesting. So if you live in the Charlotte area, you should go check that out. I don't know if it actually has a release otherwise yet or not, but if you get the chance to watch this, you should definitely go check it out. It's a fantastic documentary. As a matter of fact, it's part of my What You Watching this week since I went ahead and saw it at Vizart. So I'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit later, but my next date that I have to plug is January 18th at Vizart Video. I am screening Flesher. That's a Martell's Movie Madness event there at Vizart Video. It's completely free. Donations are encouraged strongly. The Flesher people will have their merchandise there for you to buy. You're going to want to bring some extra cash because you're going to love this movie. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's a little Devil's Rejects, a little Silence of the Lambs, a little Hostel. It's got a little bit of everything you really want in some horror, some independent horror. It's dark, it's gritty, it's funny, it's definitely a little bloody. You're going to want to come see that. It's a one-night-only event at Vizart Video, January 18th. The movie is called Flesher. It was made in Charleston, South Carolina, by John and Scott Johnson, and it's just a fantastic film. I got to see it at Days of the Dead this year, and hopefully you guys are going to come out and see that with me on the 18th. January 21st is the Cult Movies in the Cave. They're doing Skip Tracer. I don't know much about Skip Tracer, but Micah's really been on the ball with picking these movies. They've all been kind of off the wall and crazy uh, movies that you can watch and enjoy with a group. Then January 29th is the VHS potluck. I don't know the theme yet for that, but going out to both of those. Those are also free events where donations are strongly encouraged for VizArt Video to keep them in business, keep the lights on, because what they're doing is very important for the culture of the film community in Charlotte and just the culture of like human beings in general and films in general. Uh, you should go up there and support them as often as possible if you live in Charlotte, because they're a very awesome place to go. Okay, so those are all my dates that I have right now. Now I'm going to jump into the what you watching this week. The pick of the week is David Lynch's Blue Velvet. I rewatched it the other night. It's a 4 out of 5 on the Martell scale. It's weird because it's David Lynch, of course. It's got a good... It's one of his more cohesive stories. Dennis Hopper is just insane. Kyle MacLachlan always is great in David Lynch's movies and everything else he does. It's just 100% fantastic from beginning to end. So that was a 4.5 out of 5 on the Martell scale, so damn near perfect movie. Next up is the VizArt screenings. Of course, I saw Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street about Mark Patton and his rise to stardom, disappearance, reemergence. It talks about a lot of things that I didn't know about him. A lot of things that I know a lot of people probably don't know about him. So go ahead and go check that one out. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on the Martell scale. It's a great documentary. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm rushing through these. I'm still getting over this sickness, so my voice isn't all the way there, and my throat is real dry and itchy. So next up are gonna be my Prime watch for this week. I did watch one movie on Prime. It was The Driller Killer, directed by Abel Ferrara. I told you guys I've been on a big Abel Ferrara kick. The Driller Killer was not the movie that I was thinking about. It was Bad Lieutenant that I was trying to figure out the name for last week on the episode when I was talking about there was one that I really wanted to see by him. So I will be definitely watching Bad Lieutenant soon with Harvey Keitel. It's going to be insane. But The Driller Killer is like a... it's like a slasher, but it's not a slasher. You know what I mean? Like it has the gory kills and the killer's point of view, but really it's just more like an exploitation horror movie from back in those days, because it was a little bit before the slasher genre really was a thing or took off. Set in New York, of course. It's a very punk rock movie. At the very beginning, it says this movie was meant to be played loud, so of course I turned my TV up. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 on the Martell scale. It's fucking awesome. Go check it out. It's on Amazon Prime, like I said. Next up, on Netflix, I watched The Irishman finally. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on the Martell scale. I think it's a wonderful fucking movie. It's a great Martin Scorsese doing Martin Scorsese as he does. It's a little long. I felt like some of the scenes weren't like the most necessary things in the world, but at the same time, like, they did add something to the characters and the storylines going through the movie. So, you know, who am I? I'm just some guy. Martin Scorsese is the master of all this shit. So, next up are my VizArt video rentals. I only had 2 this week. Well, I had 3, but Miss 45 was included on the last episode. Sorry. Bad Times at the El Royale. I had heard a lot of really bad things about this movie, that it wasn't really good, or it was long and prodding and slow. I didn't think that at all. I thought that it was very good. I thought that it was this director's way of paying an homage to both exploitation movies that he loves and like Quentin Tarantino's style of storytelling. So I thought it was real good. It has a lot of really good names of actors in it. The characters are really well done, and all the actors play their parts perfectly. The way it reveals things is perfect. It's a 4.5 out of 5 on the Martell scale. So go check out Bad Times at the El Royale. I think it's a criminally underrated movie. I did not hear a lot of good things about it when it first came out. Next up, and last but not least, is It Chapter 2. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on the Martell scale. Didn't enjoy it, I think, as much as the first It remake, reboot, whatever. But I definitely did enjoy it a lot. I thought the things that it did were pretty cool, especially with the bully coming back from the mental institution and everything. That was pretty neat, and I thought that the way they handled Richie's character being gay was very cool to see, and like how they didn't really have to put it in your face. It was very subtle. It wasn't like they didn't make him overly flamboyant or anything. It wasn't like, oh, get it, he's gay. Here he is in your face being gay. No, it was like, oh, he's gay, but he's just a dude, which is cool because like we need more characters like that where it's, oh yeah, he's gay, but that's not all he is. Which sadly, a lot of big Hollywood movies, that's pretty much all you get is gay characters. That's their whole thing is that they're gay. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It has its place as well, but we need more than that. What was I gonna say? Oh, the CGI was like my biggest gripe about it. Some of the things they did with CGI could have been done better with some practical effects with CGI to like cover things up. But you know, you can't tell these big Hollywood movies anything. They're gonna use their CGI because it's the cheap way to go about it. They're gonna save that buck so they can turn a profit. But anyways, that's what I got for the What You Watchins this week. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and plug the social medias. On Facebook and Instagram, it's at Martell's Movie Madness. On Twitter, it's at Movie Madness 69. Of course, my Twitter and Instagram are at Martell the God and at Trailer Trash God, respectively. You can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Martell's Movie Madness. Little as $3 a month will get you early access to every episode of the show, every YouTube video we put out, any content that we make for the show or the YouTube channel. You'll get early. Podcast episodes you get 4 days early. YouTube videos you get up to a week early sometimes. Next tier up, you start getting bonus content. So go on over there and check that out. We got lots of goodies over there. Some of the tiers don't have content on them right now, but they will eventually. Once people start actually joining the higher tiers, then I will start putting content in the higher tiers. The two bottom tiers have content in them always. I do 2 bonus episodes a month for the $10 tier. So, hey, if you want to just go over there and join for $10 a month, then that's cool. And once you join for $10 a month, maybe I'll start pumping in some stuff in the higher up tiers. Or if you express interest in higher up tiers, then I'll start pumping stuff into them. I just don't have the time to do it if I'm not being compensated right now. So that's why the Patreon is there. But I think that's all I have for the opening here, the intro. As always, I want to say go and support VisArt Video. They're located in East Charlotte, over off Eastway, in the Eastway Crossings shopping center, right next. Well, not right next to, but just a few stores down from Tommy's Pub. Then a couple doors down from there is Armada Skate Shop. You want to go over there and check them out for all your skateboarding needs. Pat's a good dude, and I love to support him and Vizart, and yeah, they're all good people over there at Vizart and at Armada Skate Shop. So go ahead and check them out. Yeah, so that's what I got for this intro here, and then I'm gonna go into the. I'm gonna cut real quick, take a little drink of water, might grab a cough drop, and then we'll be back with my decade of movies.
Now it's dark.
Let's fuck! I'll fuck anything that moves!
All right, welcome back to Martel's Movie Madness, and this is the my movies of the decade. It's technically 20 movies, but I did not put it in order, so it's not a top 20. What I did was I just picked two movies from each year of the decade, a horror movie and a non-horror movie, and then I've got some honorable mentions for each year as well. A lot of good movies came out over the past 10 years. I was surprised how many of these movies came out within the last 10 years, and really surprised how many great movies came out like toward the end of the decade. I feel like 16, 17, and 18 and 19 were excellent years for movies. But of course, there's still a lot of 19 movies that I haven't seen yet, so there's even more in 19 than I thought, because I haven't seen a lot of them yet. So I'm going to jump right in here. 2010. For my horror movie, I picked Insidious. If you know me or have followed me on social media for any period of time, then you know that Insidious is one of my all-time favorite horror movies, probably. It's one of the most recent times that a movie actually scared me. Between that and Hereditary, like, those movies really actually gave me the fucking heebie-jeebies watching them. And then my non-horror pick is The Fighter, starring Mark Wahlberg, which I'm sure just from listening to this podcast and even having the slightest bit of a conversation with me, you know that I love The Fighter. It's just such a great film. It's a perfect film to me. It has everything. It has drama, it has comedy, it has action, it has romance, it has Boston accents. I mean, technically Lowell, Massachusetts accents, but they're still the same thing. So yeah, those are my two movies for 2010, Insidious and The Fighter. I have a fucking hard-on for James Wan, apparently. So I'm sure that a few more, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a few more of his movies are going to pop up on this list. So be ready for that. My honorable mentions for 2010. Not a bad way to start off a decade, by the way, with Insidious and The Fighter. We have also got The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Just a fucking hilarious movie. They play like desk cops that get thrown out into the street cops. They're out doing actual police work instead of desk shit now. And yeah, it's pretty goddamn hilarious. You need to see it if you haven't already. Next up is Youth in Revolt. Michael Cera at his most Michael Cera, and just an overall super cute, funny movie. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, another Michael Cera movie with him just being very Michael Cera, but not as Michael Cera as in Youth in Revolt. He actually plays Scott Pilgrim a little bit badass at points once he gets over his whiny bullshit. Let Me In, the remake of Let the Right One In. I think the original came out in 2009 or 8, or otherwise that one would be on the list instead of Let Me In, because it is the better film. But the American remake is actually really good still. It's a shot-for-shot remake almost. Of course, there's a little bit of differences because of the audiences. And, American audiences and Swedish audiences aren't going to like the same things, of course. But next up is Frozen. Adam Green's Frozen, not Disney's Frozen. Not that Disney's Frozen isn't good, but it's not one of my top movies of 2010 because it wasn't even out in 2010. It's not one of my top movies of the decade at all. But Adam Green's Frozen, very suspenseful, very dreadful. It's horror, but it's far removed from what he had become known for, which was the Hatchet franchise. Which Hatchet franchise that brings me to my next honorable mention. My last honorable mention for 2010. Hatchet 2 came out in 2010, and Hatchet 2 is probably my favorite of the series. Maybe Hatchet 3 edges it out a little bit. But this is when Danielle Harris comes in to play, God, what is her name? Her actual character name. I love these movies, and if I wasn't trying to think of her name, I would know it. But she comes in to play the lead, and it's fantastic. It's real fun. The kills just get better and better every time. The Hatchet franchise is the slasher franchise for this generation. I feel like this generation's Freddy and Jason, honestly. But yeah, that's my 2010. Now I'm going to be right back with 2011.
I'm not sure if you're ready to hear this yet, but unfortunately, I can't waste any time easing you into it. I want you to know this is what I believe, and it may contradict a previous medical diagnosis, but you called me here, and I'm taking that as an acceptance of my readings. Yes?
Go on.
Your son isn't in a coma. Falling off a ladder had nothing to do with this. His physical body is here, but his spiritual body is not. And the reason these disturbances, they followed you to a new home, is because it's not the house that's haunted. It's your son.
All right, welcome back to the movies of the decade. This is the year 2011 we're talking about now. My top pick for horror for 2011 was Scream 4. Controversial. I know a lot of people don't like the Scream sequels, or they like 1 and 2 but don't like 3 and 4. I love all 4 of them. I think that they just got better. Scream 1 is the all-time classic, of course. Scream 1 is my favorite of the franchise, but as far as what the sequels add to the mythology, what they add to the story of everything, it's crazy. And it's always different killers, too. It's not the hokey, oh, they brought back, he didn't really die. No, it's always different people. So it's the most believable slasher villain ever, Ghostface. He's just a guy adopting the character of actual serial killers that happened before. For my non-horror pick, I picked 30 Minutes or Less. Hold on a sec. I have a cough drop in and I'm still coughing. 30 Minutes or Less. Jesse Eisenberg. Danny McBride. What's the fucking kid's name? Shit, I can only think of his fucking character name in some movies. Aziz Ansari is in it. Oh man, it's gonna kill me if I can't think of that guy's name. Nick Swartzen, that's it. He's in it. Michael Pena. It's an ensemble comedy movie. It's very funny. I remember it being it's one of my most watched movies, my most rewatched movies from that year for sure, probably. Aside from maybe Scream 4, of course. But yeah, those are my 2 top movies for 2011, and here are the honorable mentions, ones that just didn't make the cut. For the horror side, I've got well, horror or genre, I should say, because some of these movies aren't going to be straight up horror. They're going to be more like sci-fi or thriller-y. So, for the genre side of things, I've got Hobo with a Shotgun, Attack the Block, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Hobo with a Shotgun, it's pretty plain and simple. It's a hobo with a shotgun. It's a very violent and fun movie. It came out as part of the Grindhouse series. It was like a third movie for that franchise, or fourth maybe. It might have came out after Machete, because I think Machete's part of that shit too. Sorry. What was I saying? Yeah, Hobo with a Shotgun, very fun, very violent. Attack the Block, I should say, not Attack on the Block. Attack the Block is a horror sci-fi. The tagline says it all: inner city versus outer space. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's English thugs versus space creatures. So go ahead and check that one out. Go ahead and check both of those out. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, of course, is the first movie in the newest trilogy of Planet of the Apes movies. I should do a Planet of the Apes franchise breakdown one day, but I have to watch a few of the older movies still. So yeah, we'll get that one eventually, but it's definitely a good movie, and that whole trilogy, it kind of sets off that trilogy on the right foot. So yeah. Now for the non-horror movies, I've got 50-50, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Seth Rogen. It's a very touching, very funny movie. So yeah, check that one out. The Muppets, the new Muppet movie with, well, not the newest one, but the Jason Segel Muppet movie. Definitely funny. It's everything you wanted from a Muppet movie for the modern generation. The Sitter, Jonah Hill. It's fucking hilarious. There's nothing better than shitty kids and shenanigans, in my opinion. So yeah, that's why that one got on there. So that's 2011 wrapped up in a nutshell for you. I'll be right back with 2012.
Let me just say to our guest, Sidney Prescott, it's an honor.
Beyond Jamie Lee Curtis, forget Linda Blair. I mean, this is the ultimate.
Thanks, I guess. You film your entire high school experience and post it on the net?
Everybody will be doing it someday, Sid.
It's kind of the one component the killer is missing.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, if you want to be the new version, the killer should be filming the murders.
Yeah, it's like the natural next step in a psycho-slasher innovation. I mean, you film them all real time, and then before you get caught, you upload them into cyberspace.
Making your art as immortal as you. Not to implicate him.
So who do you think is behind the murders?
Well, it's a stab fanatic, clearly. Working on less of a shriekwell and more of a screamake.
Copyrighted terms, by the way.
Because all there are now are remakes. Only horror the studio's greenlight. I mean, there are still rules, but the rules have changed. The unexpected is the new cliche.
Yeah, you gotta have an opening sequence that blows the doors off, dial up some flashy music video direction, and the kill's gotta be way more extreme.
Modern audiences get savvy to the rules of the originals, so the reversals become the new standard. In fact, the only surefire way to survive a modern horror movie, you pretty much have to be gay.
All right, we're back with 2012. For 2012, my horror pick is Cabin in the Woods, and my non-horror pick is Moonrise Kingdom. Cabin in the Woods is very Scream-esque in the way it dissects the horror genre, but it does it in a way that's more campy and more fun than Scream did. Scream did it in a way where it was very scary still. Not that there aren't scary moments in Cabin in the Woods, but it feels more like a straight-up horror comedy than it does a horror movie that happens to be funny. Moonrise Kingdom, Wes Anderson. I haven't seen a lot of his movies. I've just basically seen this one and Rushmore, I think. But I like his style a lot. I think he makes really cute movies, really dramatic and cute movies. This one is super adorable. It follows two young teenagers, I guess, or preteens that run off to be together or whatever. It's really crazy, but it's real fun and it's real. God damn it, it's real cute. So go ahead and check that one out too. Some of my honorable mentions for 2012. 21 Jump Street was surprisingly funny. I wasn't expecting Channing Tatum to be that funny. Of course, Johnny Hill's hilarious. But yeah, 21 Jump Street. Jeff Who Lives at Home is definitely another great funny movie from that. But it's well, I don't know if I could call that a funny movie, but it's a dark comedy. It has funny parts, but it is very dramatic and tense as well. Definitely just a very good movie overall. Very underrated. I feel like a lot of people don't know about Jeff Who Lives at Home. You got to go check it out. It's Jason Segel and Ed Helms is in it as well, and I think Judy Greer, maybe. I'm not sure. Ted come out in 2012. Boston accents. Mark Wahlberg. You get the fucking point. I don't really gotta tell you. I don't stand by some of the things Mark Wahlberg has done in his life, in his past, and I don't know Mark as a person, but I enjoy his work as an actor. He is very good and very Boston-y. Sinister is another honorable mention for 2012. Ethan Hawke is very fucking... The first Sinister movie is pretty fucking scary. He starts finding these snuff films, basically, that the family that lived in the house before him. He's a true crime writer. I don't want to get into the details and spoil too much for you, but go check out Sinister. It's fucking scary as hell. Creepy little kids and shit. The Possession, one of the few Possession movies that doesn't revolve around the Catholic Church. It's actually a Jewish possession story, which is fucking cool. Very fucking good movie. Another one of those underrated horror movies, I feel like, of this decade. So go check that one out. I liked Dredd a lot as well. The remake for Judge... Well, I think it's a sequel, actually, for Judge Dredd. Might have been a reboot, though. I don't know. Definitely 100% better than the Stallone Judge Dredd movie. They did a lot of really cool things in that with the effects. So go check that one out. And Django Unchained. I could not make a list about the top movies of the decade and not at least mention Django Unchained in it, because that was a very good movie as well. Alright, so that is 2012. I'm going to be right back with 2013.
We have a winner. It's the Buckners, ladies and gentlemen. The Buckners pull the W. All right, that means that congratulations go to maintenance, who share the pot with Ronald the intern.
Hey, that's not fair. I had zombies too.
Yes, you did. Yes, you had zombies. But this is zombie redneck torture family, see? They're entirely separate species. Like the difference between an elephant and an elephant seal. But there's always next year.
All right, welcome back. And this is the year 2013 that we're going into now. Top two movies. The horror one was The Conjuring. Told you guys I love James Wan. I haven't seen a James Wan movie that I didn't like. I don't know. Annabelle wasn't his movie, though. I don't think he directed Annabelle. But still, that's the only one that I don't really care for. I like it, but I don't like it as much as the rest of the Conjuring universe movies. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. The Conjuring is definitely my favorite horror movie that came out in 2013. It's just so fucking scary. It's just fucking spooky. And I hated it the first time I watched it because I watched a fucking shitty bootleg copy. And that's why I don't bootleg movies anymore. Or buy bootleg movies from people at the flea market. Non-horror was Wolf of Wall Street, of course. Fucking goddamn, that movie's good. I mean, it's just fucking excess all the way from the beginning to the end, and it's just, you know, wow. Based on a true story, shit that really happened in this world. So yeah, another Martin Scorsese movie, definitely, because you gotta see Wolf of Wall Street and The Conjuring. I'm gonna try to nail these home, so I'm gonna just kind of throw these out for these honorable mentions for these last couple of years, probably. Honorable mentions are Spring Breakers, Harmony Korine, it's got Gucci Man, and it's got James Franco doing his best riff-raff impersonation, plus it's got 3 of the hottest girls of the time in it, so yeah, definitely go check that one out. I thought it was another movie that got really shitty reviews that didn't deserve it. The Place Beyond the Pines, very good, very dramatic. Not a lot of feel-good vibes to that one. It was very, very dark pretty much the entire time. The Evil Dead remake was another favorite of 2013. Blood everywhere, just the fucking rain and blood. It was all physical effects for everything. Just great. As far as remakes go, that's probably the best one. Probably the best remake that they've ever made. Lords of Salem, another good honorable mention for 2013. By far Rob Zombie's weirdest movie, and probably second or third favorite that out of his movies for me. And This Is the End. Just hilarious. Everybody playing shitty versions of themselves, or like, it's just it's funny as hell. Michael Cera is just hilarious. But yeah, there goes 2013. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little break here, and then be back for 2014.
Listening, it's easier than you think. Every person you're on the phone with, they want to get rich, and they want to get rich quickly. They all want something for nothing.
There was this one time that I was selling pot to this Amish dude. You know those guys who got like the beard with like no mustache or some bullshit? Well, he says that he only wants to make furniture.
I don't understand.
to do with anything? What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not putting words in your mouth or nothing, but you just said that everybody wants to get rich.
Holy fuck, you did just say that.
You just say that. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like Buddhists. They don't give a shit about money. They're wrapped in sheets. They're not buying shit.
I'm not talking about Buddhists or Amish. I'm talking about normal people, working class, everyday people. Everyone wants to get rich. Am I crazy?
There's no such thing as Amish Buddhists, I'm pretty fucking sure.
No, I didn't.
I
didn't say Amish Buddhists. Do you guys not want to make money?
I want to make some fucking money.
I
I want to make some fucking money, okay? I could sell anything. Shit, I could sell Louis to a convent full of nuns, get them so horny they'd be
There you go.
I can sell anything.
That's the attitude. You can sell anything.
Sell
Sell me
anything.
this fucking pen right here. You can sell anything. Sell that.
Go ahead. Sell me that pen. Can I finish eating first? I need tonight.
Brad, show him how it's done. Boom. Sell me that pen. Watch. Go on.
Let me sell this fucking pen.
That's my boy right there.
This pen.
Fucking sell anything.
Why don't you do me a favor? Write your name down on that napkin for me.
I don't have a pen.
Exactly. Supply and demand, my friend.
You know what I'm saying? He's creating urgency. We get them to want to buy the stuff. Gets them, it's something that they need. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing.
Okay, we're kicking in an overdrive. 2014, my horror pick was It Follows, and my non-horror pick was Birdman. I'm sorry if I go a little bit faster on these last few years. My voice has just completely given out on me, guys. And I'm also running out of time here to record this. I don't try to rush things usually here, but considering my throat is just about to go away forever, then I'm going to go ahead and run through these. It Follows is my horror for 2014. Birdman is my non-horror for 2014. And the honorable mentions are Foxcatcher, Guardians of the Galaxy, St. Vincent, Tusk, and X-Men Days of Future Past. Go check out all of those if you haven't already. If you have, and it's been a while, go check them out again. These are movies that I think are just must-see for 2014 for sure. So, yeah, there were my 2014 movies. Now I'm going to take a little break and be back with the 2015 movies.
Good for you. Fuck it. We'll make a comeback. They're waiting for something huge. We'll give it to them. Shave out that pathetic goatee. Get some surgery. 60's the new 30, motherfucker. You were the original, man. You paved the way for all these other little clowns. Give the people what they want. Some good old-fashioned apocalyptic porn. Birdman, The Phoenix Rises. Pimple-faced gamers screaming in their pants. 1 billion worldwide, guaranteed. You were larger than life, man. You save people from their boring, miserable lives. You make them jump, laugh, shit their pants. All you have to do is... That's what I'm talking about. Bones rattling, big, loud, fast. Look at these people. Look at their eyes. They're all sparkling. They love this shit. They love blood. They love action. Not this talky, depressing, philosophical bullshit. Yes. And the next time you screech, it'll explode into millions of eardrums.
All right, welcome back. We're in the year 2015, getting down to the bottom half of the decade here. My horror choice is Ex Machina. I thought for a long time it was Ex Machina, but that is dumb. Ex Machina, it's just a fucking great sci-fi horror movie. Black Mass is my non-horror movie. Just a good old-fashioned gangster movie. Johnny Depp playing Whitey Bulger, and just a very good cast, very good story overall. Honorable mentions: Dope, starring A$AP Rocky and God, I can't remember the actor's name, but it's the guy he plays Raekwon on the Wu-Tang shit now, the Wu-Tang American Saga shit. The Final Girls, Insidious Chapter 3, Straight Outta Compton, Creed, and The Hateful Eight. Those are all my honorable mentions for 2015. All great movies. The Hateful Eight is just Quentin Tarantino making a movie where he can do everything all in one room, and it's just great. The whole story is just, it's fantastic. I think it's good. Creed is the pickup of it's a reboot, basically, of the Rocky franchise, but with Creed, the Adonis Creed as the main character instead of having it be Rocky again. It's Apollo Creed's son, so that's really cool. And Straight Outta Compton, of course, that's the story about the NWA. I thought it was very fun to watch. Insidious Chapter 3, of course, I had to put that on here. I love Insidious. I love all those Insidious movies. So yeah, that was 2015, and now I'm going to be right back with 2016.
What will happen to me if I fail your test?
Ava,
Will it be bad?
I don't know.
Do you think I might be switched off because I don't function as well as I'm supposed to?
Ava, I don't know the answer to your question. It's not up to me.
Why is it up to anyone? Do you have people who test you and might switch you off?
No, I don't.
Then why do I?
Alright, like I said, I'm going to be moving right along with these last few. I'm so sorry. Hopefully this is going to be a good episode for you guys still. It should still be a pretty long one. But this is a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm losing my voice, so I know you can't hear it right now, but it's really itchy and it's real dry. So I'm trying not to lose it before the end of the episode, but I'm trying to hurry it along so I don't lose it during the episode. So 2016, my horror pick is actually a tie. The Conjuring 2 and The Witch. I couldn't decide which one I liked the best. I love The Conjuring 2. I thought that the Crooked Man was an excellent character. I was hoping he would get his own standalone movie, but they went with The Nun instead. The Witch is just, oof, talk about a slow burn where the payoff just really kicks your ass. If you haven't seen The Witch, you definitely got to see it, but be patient with it. If you watch the first 30 minutes or so and you're bored, just hang on, it's getting there, it'll get there. It's going to build you some good tension and some good stress, so you hang in there with that one. And the non-horror pick is Moonlight. Moonlight is a story about a basically just a gay black man coming up in the hood, in the urban, I think it's in Florida. I think it takes place in Florida. He like comes up in the street culture and everything, and it's so wonderful. It's just such a beautiful film. Yeah, it deserved all those Oscars. Honorable mentions for 2016: Hush, Green Room, Fundamentals of Caring, Lights Out, Batman: The Killing Joke, Ouija: The Origin of Evil, The Eyes of My Mother, Bleed for This, and Fences. All of those great movies. Green Room is fantastic. It's got a weird isolationist kind of thing going on with some neo-Nazis, and then Hush is a very crazy play on the home invasion movie, because the main character is deaf, so she can't hear the guy coming. The Fundamentals of Caring is a movie that will make you laugh like hell, and then it'll make you cry like a bitch, and it's really good. It's Paul Rudd, and I mean, it's just great. Batman: The Killing Joke is probably one of the best animated movies of all time. Definitely worth a check out. It's an R-rated animated Batman movie, so yeah. Ouija: The Origin of Evil, a sequel that kicks the shit out of the original movie, hands down, way better than the original. It's a prequel, but you know what I mean. The Eyes of My Mother, dark, suspenseful, very dreadful. It gives you the good cutaways and shit from like the old school horror movies. Bleed for This, very good movie about boxer Vinny Pazienza. And Fences is another one of those big Oscar movies from this year. Denzel Washington, and it's about his relationship with his son and his family. It's just fantastic. Yeah, that's 2016, and we'll be right back with 2017.
Like Philip, I conjure thee to speak to me. Speak as thou dost speak to Jonas and Mercy. Dost thou understand my English tongue? Answer me.
What dost thou want?
What canst thou give?
Wouldst thou like the taste of butter? A pretty dress? Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Yes.
Wouldst thou like to see the world?
What will you from me?
Dost thou see a book before thee? Remove thy shift.
I cannot write my name.
I will guide thy hand.
Okay, welcome back. We're at 2017 now. We're getting to the end of the decade. My horror pick, this should come as no surprise to anybody, is Get Out. And my non-horror pick, also, if you know me in real life, it should come as no surprise to you, Lady Bird. I went on and on about both of these movies when I saw them. I saw Get Out opening night, or opening weekend, and then I saw it again with my family, and then I saw Lady Bird 3 times in theaters. Jesus Christ, I saw it when it first came. I saw it when it came out. I saw it when they re-put it out for the Oscar shit. I had Movie Pass at the time, so I was seeing a lot of movies. And yeah, I saw Lady Bird 3 times in theaters. Honorable mentions for 2017 are The Belko Experiment, War for the Planet of the Apes, Brigsby Bear, Annabelle Creation, Downsizing, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, Mother, and The Disaster Artist. Definitely go check out all those. Again, this is when I had Movie Pass, so I saw a lot of movies that year in the theater. They were great. I saw a lot of bad movies too, but not really as many as good ones. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a little break here and then come back with 2018.
Good to see another brother around here.
Yes, of course it is. Something wrong?
There you are. Do something with this.
Yes.
Oh, hello. I'm Philomena, and you are?
Chris, Rose's boyfriend. Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here.
That's nice. Logan, I hate to tear you away, dear, but the Wincots were asking about you.
Well, it was nice to meet you, Chris.
All right, welcome back, and this is 2018 now. My throat is actually holding up better than I thought it was, so maybe I'm going to spend a little bit more time on these last 2 years. This is the only year that has a double tie for the top 2, so it's technically a top 4. So the horror picks that I have are Hereditary and Suspiria. I could not categorize one over the other, I don't think. Both are fantastic movies. If I had to give an edge to one, I would definitely say it's Hereditary, though. But they both do such a good job at building that dread and suspense and just fear and just that feeling in your stomach, that uneasy feeling that a horror movie is supposed to give you. Next, the non-horror movies, Blind Spotting and A Star is Born. Both fantastic movies. Again, like I said, if I had to give an edge to one, I'd say Blind Spotting. But I just felt like A Star is Born and Suspiria deserved more than an honorable mention here. Those are just great movies. But yeah, Blind Spotting and Hereditary are just next level good. Blind Spotting is so powerful. It came out in time. It came out in a year when there was a lot of police killing going on, especially of young black people. And unarmed black people of that. And I know it's still going on today, and it's been going on for years and years and years. But like, it just came out at a heated time. It was the hot ticket issue, and it was so powerful and so good with its delivery of its message. And it really resonated with me, and I know it resonated with its entire audience. Hopefully it did anyways. But yeah. Hereditary just fucking... that movie fucking fucked me up. Ari Aster is a great fucking filmmaker. Okay, so my honorable mentions for 2018. There's a lot of them. Den of Thieves. It's got... what's his name? It's got Ice Cube's son in it. It's got a whole bunch of people in it. It's a fucking ensemble cast. It's very good. Very... gangster heist movie, very action packed, good movie. Game Night, absolutely hilarious. Jason, I can't remember his name. Sudeikis? No, that's not him. It's one of the Jasons, and Rachel McAdams. Just a funny movie. Again, that's another one with a good cast. It's a lot of funny people in it. Annihilation, just a beautiful fucking movie all around. Unsane is another one of those unnerving horror movies. 2018 was a great year for those movies. Because we've also got Acrimony, which is not really a horror movie, but it's definitely unnerving. And Bad Samaritan, which is very unnerving, very suspenseful. Blockers is another good one from 2018. I laughed my ass off when I saw Blockers. Same thing with Tag. It's a very hilarious movie. 8th Grade is funny, and it's awkward, and it's weird, and it's cute. And it gets really dark for a minute there. Sorry to Bother You is just batshit weird and also very awesome and good. And it's very socially relevant still in 2019. It's always going to be socially relevant, I feel like, because there is that exploitation of lower class people and people of color, and just generally the lower class is exploited and manipulated by the rich in this country. So you definitely want to check out Sorry to Bother You if you are into some weird, crazy, abstract shit going on, but also a really real message. Christopher Robin. This one hit me in all the feelings. I cried at the movie theater when I saw it. If you like Winnie the Pooh, you'll definitely need to see Christopher Robin, because it's Christopher Robin all grown up with a family of his own, and he's lost his way, and then Pooh helps him find it. Black Klansman, based on a true story. Spike Lee just doing fucking Spike Lee. It's a great fucking movie. You gotta go check out Black Klansman. Overlord, Nazi, zombie, super soldiers. It's fucking insane. The Possession of Hannah Grace, a good horror movie that has a really unsuspected kind of twist on the Possession Exorcist movie. So yeah, go ahead and check those all out. That was 2018 wrapped up. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and take a little break, and then we'll be right back with the last year of the decade, 2019.
Shit. Colin! Yo, Colin! Hey, bro, we need to... Shit.
Don't.
Does this scare you? Huh? Fuck you know about being scared. Were you afraid someone was gonna come find you? Huh? Bruh. What, nigga? I'm just talking to him. You said make it pretty, right? It's the bounce of it. They like the bounce of it. Like a tree on a sign, nigga, we cut right down. Paul Bunyan-ass cops come to chop me at the knees and search the trunk in my own town. Did you count his rings when you bled him? Huh? When you dead him? Do you understand? How old was he? Nigga, how old was he?
He was 26.
26? So many years you decided didn't mean shit. And all this talking don't mean shit. I mean shit. I've been in my element, eloquent, spitting hella, developing. I've been telling the shell I'm in not to walk like a felon and fucking flipping the middle finger to feeling irrelevant, reveling in my freedom till you turn heaven to hell. And hello, sir! I'ma need you to open your fucking eyes now and look and see. You might think you know what's happening, but you don't feel it like we do. To feel it, it has to be you. Cut you, but you don't know what the cut do. You all reflex, but when reflux bleeds the gut, then you see the faces. Leave the vases. Moving people in and out for a fee. Feeding this town decay an appetite of me. An appetizer, huh? I must be tasty, but I stay angry because y'all get hazy. I'm the one out here stuck on a clock, Loving a curfew to keep me off the block. Fuck, what time is it? What time? Nope. Fuck it, I did my time. How come every time you come around, you monsters got me feeling like a monster in my own town? And I say it while I'm rapping, nigga, cause everyone conditioned to listen to a rapping nigga, but I'm rapping to the active nigga. You the one capping niggas. So quick to flash, you feel like your passion, nigga. Hitting us till a headstone stuck in the mud. We stuck it out, it turned us into some thugs. Got a whole city brand new and they kicking out us. Maybe we should both break shit. Make a fuss. I am both pictures. See both pictures. Don't be blind spotting me, nigga. See both pictures. Guess I'm just a little bigger than a picture, playing chicken with a cliff, but I ain't never been a flincher. Block is getting hotter. I'ma be the one to bring the winter. Fuck it, everybody want a body of a cop to splinter. I mean, why wouldn't I dead him? He's splitting wigs for 80K a year and ain't from here. He'll miss him if he disappear. Filling up with fear, I know you feel it. I've been feeling it for years. In fact, I don't remember ever never feeling it. The one who going dummy never felt the need to run, but I've been sprinting till I limp across the finish with a gun up in my blind spot. Really, ain't too hard to figure that you probably never really felt the pressure of a nigga, but you know what? I ain't never felt the pressures of a trigger. The difference between me and you is I ain't no killer. I ain't no killer.
I didn't mean to.
Are you sure?
All right, we're back with 2019. This is the last year of the decade, and I just recently did my top 10 for 2019. So this was my most easy one to do because all I did was have to copy and paste, basically. So you already know my movie of the year for 2019 was Midsommar, which is also my horror pick for 2019 here. Surprise, surprise. The non-horror pick was a little bit harder because I was like trying to decide what would was Joker genre Under the Silver Lake. Is that a genre movie? Is it a horror movie? Is it because it's a suspenseful thriller, but it's not necessarily a horror movie. I ended up going with Joker as my non-horror pick, my non-genre pick, because I feel like it's the one that is the least like a horror movie from the top 5 that I had on there. I just talked about both of these in good length on that episode, so I'm not going to go too deep into that on this. Both of those are definitely fucking excellent movies that you should check out. But my honorable mentions here are just more movies from my top 10 from 2019. Climax, Gaspar Noé, it's fucking ridiculously fucking insanely good. It's frantic, it's loud, it's just unsettling to watch, and that's what you want from a good horror movie, I feel like. The Beach Bum, fucking hilarious. It's just good, but it's also very dark. It's what you've come to expect from this new era of Harmony Korine movies. Under the Silver Lake, very Hitchcocky, very suspenseful, very weird and out there, but it's definitely a fantastic movie. This one was on my honorable mentions for my top 10, but I decided to throw it here too because I do think it is a fantastic movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Had a lot of people complaining about the ending. I thought the ending was fucking perfect. I thought it was, what else were we gonna have? I guess they could have went to the ranch and killed everybody there too, but whatever. Oh shit! Spoiler alert. Sorry. So I try to do spoiler free shit on here, but I just let that slide out. My bad, y'all. The dead don't die. Us and Knives and Skin, all fucking fantastic movies. Definitely go watch every fucking movie that was on my top 10 for 2019. Every movie on this list, you need to go watch. Just make it a year-long goal to watch all these movies that I've talked about on this show and my last show. But yep, that's all I got for you. Like I said at the top of the show, go ahead and check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Martell's Movie Madness, Twitter at Movie Madness 69. The Twitter is not as active as the Instagram and the Facebook. Go get us on Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Martell's Movie Madness. That's the most important thing. I want to get the money up so we can get the quality up, so that I can get the time up, so that I can get the quality and quantity of shit that I produce for this up. So yeah, go ahead and help me get my money up, y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Maybe I'll have a guest next week. I don't know. Maybe it'll be another solo episode. I might take a week. I might take this whole month off from guest and just hit you with nothing but guests next month. So we'll do it. We'll do whatever we do, and it'll be fine. Of course. Thank y'all for listening again. This has been Martell's Movie Madness. Movies of the decade. Now let's watch some fucking movies. Well, I'm actually going to watch some wrestling because it's Wrestle Kingdom time, but y'all go watch some fucking movies. Just kidding. I mean, we're not kidding. I'm going to watch wrestling, but let's watch some fucking movies, y'all.
This next poem is one I wrote at 3 a.m. coming down off of a 2-day acid trip in the Virgin Islands. It's called The Beautiful Poem. I go to bed in Havana thinking about you. Pissing a few moments ago, I looked down at my penis with affection, knowing it has been inside you twice today. Makes me feel beautiful.
This time, come back next week. See if you can do it again. There'll be more thrills and chills awaiting on Martell's Movie Madness.